Failure to take action in this one campaign will not hold. Marvel legends, DC heroes, punches on their thumbnails. A-C-B-A.
Some new things I got on the comic front. Well, not exactly new, but a buddy of mine for, I don't know, we've been friends for like 20 years now. He'd been getting rid of some of his old comics. He said he's just tired of moving them around from place to place and never really appreciating them. So I told him I'd give him a good home. This Hearts of Darkness thing, this Wolverine, Punisher, and Ghost Rider, this is a cool book. Those of you who haven't seen it, I suggest you, if you can get a hold of it, check it out, because it's a good story. He hooked me up with the first 10 issues of the New Mutants, and I'll definitely be flipping through these, because I don't really know that much about the New Mutants, but, I mean, I'll probably get a good enough feel for it in 10 issues, right? The Days of Future Past, I think this is just one of the first graphic novels that they made of it. I'm not positive. Really early Wolverine stuff. Issue number 1, issue 2, 8. There's a few scattered issues in there, in that pile too. I just wanted to show off some of the ones I thought were cool. And the entire Kitty Pryde and Wolverine miniseries that they made. And these are old school. What's the date? I don't know if I can even... Oh, 1984. Wow. So this is... The year I was born was when these comics came out. So you want to talk about some classic stories. This is the stuff, to check out. So I'll definitely have plenty of reading material ahead of me here, especially with some of these Wolverine comics, man. Like, I remember some of these flipping through them as a kid at his house, and now to be able to do that again almost, actually over 20 years later, should be a good read. So one of the things that I didn't get to show off in my last video about this cityscape that I made was the compact factor. Obviously, forgive the scenery, this thing is right on my bed right now. So I'm not going to be sharing it with any ladies. Although lately, this is the only lady I've been sharing my bed with. But enough about that. This city building I've shown off once or twice in various stages of completion. Right now it's about where I want it. Obviously I got the cutaway where I can put the billboard up top. But I like how compact it is. What I mean is I left this side hollow, and you can see in there is a completely different separate building. So when I go to put this away, I can basically put everything inside here, and it all fits like up within the top of my closet there. So, I've been doing some stop motion with my wrestling stuff lately, and just being able to, basically just pick that up and put it away out of sight is, just adds a little something. It's not quite the biggest complex set to try and dismantle completely. You don't even have to take it that far. Just stuff everything in the side of the box and you're good to go. But I definitely showed this city. If you want to get a better look at it, you can check it out in my previous video where I did the response to Thor Odinson's 100 subs contest. And speaking of Thor Odinson, I got a few things to show off. Let me check these out right now. So anyway, on to some of the new stuff I got. This Rogue figure is one that I've been after for quite a while. I know what you're thinking, like this is one of the early attempts at a Marvel Legends female figure. She shares the body with Elektra, if I'm not mistaken. But you got to think back, Toy Biz was just ironing out all the details in their Marvel Legends line. They didn't really have it down completely perfect yet. So you're going to have some, some things that work and some things that don't early on. But to me, Rogue, for, their first attempt, and thus far I believe their only attempt at this costume, it's not a bad attempt, It's an early Marvel Legends figure, and you got to think about it. When this came out, they were only around Series 4 or 5, because the other characters in that set had come out in like Series 3 and 4, I think. It was Gambit, Wolverine, Magneto, and Beast. So anyway, for me personally, I'm just happy to finally have a Rogue figure. So definitely cool that I finally got her. Also, I got this Harley Quinn figure. This one came from a trade. And as far as I can tell, I believe this is the Mad Love 2-pack version, because I think the Series 2 had like a blue wash over the face. And I'm definitely, I would have been fine with that figure too, but I'm definitely happier about this one because the blue wash was a little too overpowering for me personally. I also got the, all the accessories that she came with too. The guy that I did the trade with sent me like, some of the props that she came with. But this is pretty much spot on, exactly what I think of when I think of Harley, so it's definitely cool to finally have her in my DC collection. So, as for the two gentlemen that I made those deals with, thank you very much for the cool figures, and hopefully we can deal again soon. I also managed to get a couple of cool things by way of winning second place in Thor Odin Son 24's 100 subscribers contest. He sent me this Fantastic Four movie figure. That's pretty cool, you know. I don't know much about these movie figures. I never collected them or anything, but this guy's got like kind of an uppercut action thing going for him. And then his other arm, he's got this big button on his back that when you push it, he does like kind of a pound thing. But, you know, all that aside, it's cool to, you know, play with the little gimmicks and stuff, but he's still very articulated. You can see the legs have full articulation, and the arms, you know, even though they got the gimmicks built in, they're still pretty flexible. So you can actually get him in some cool poses. I was playing around with him earlier today, and, you know, the face sculpt is dead on to what it looks like in the movie, too. So, like, you know, it's pretty cool. I like some of the Marvel movie figures, so he's definitely going to fit in pretty well with my collection. But the gem of my prize pack was this guy, the Arkham City Joker from Mattel. I believe this was in the 2-pack with Robin. And I wasn't even really that big of a fan of Robin's appearance in that game, so like getting the Joker without having to buy him too is just definitely like icing on the cake. Mattel, I think, definitely stepped up their detail there with the flesh melting, and he's just really creepy. I definitely dig it. And I dare say that I think I like this costume design even better than the DC Universe version of the Joker, the comic book one. There's just so much detail on the suit jacket and the pants, and you know, they give him the chain and everything, and seems like he's a little more grimy, a little more gritty, like he's just been hanging out in like all the wrong streets. Just, I don't know. But they did a great job with this figure. And, you know, overall, I really appreciate these figures, man. Thor Odin Son 24 is the channel. Feel free to check his channel out. Lately he's been doing some figure reviews. He did the first appearance Batman was the last one that I saw. The new Batman Legacy Collection one, the Mattel. But, yeah, definitely happy to get these figures. Awesome to be a part of that contest, and congratulations to the other people who won. So a pretty common topic of discussion here is which Batman does everybody like the best. Now these are the ones that I have from the Mattel lines, as far as like for the comics go. I also have the Movie Masters ones, but like I'm just going to talk about the comics ones for the time being. This one was the one that came out first in the 2003 Mattel line. And, you know, I still really like this guy. He just doesn't have the articulation now that a lot of us come to expect. Like, he's only got one, you know, joint in the shoulder. Well, I guess 2 joints, technically, but his arm doesn't move beyond that. But, sculpt-wise, if you get a look at it, it's still a really good, nice sculpt. He's got the longer ears and stuff. I always got a kick out of the longer ears Batman. To me, I just wish they would do, like, an articulated version of, like, the Kelly Jones version. I really like that artwork style, so to be able to see that would be really cool. And the all-black version is another favorite of mine, just because it just brings me back to the days of, like, you know, these figures, you know. Everybody had these as a kid. All the old schoolers did anyway. You know, 5 points of articulation, but you want to talk about fun, man. How much fun did you guys have with these, you know? So this all-black Batman, I don't even know if he ever wore it in the comics, but just that color scheme holds a special place in my heart just because of, you know, the figures that I had as a kid. But as far as for what my favorite is nowadays, it's probably going to have to be this one. Now, this one is from the DC Superhero line that came out before DC Universe Classics took over. And it seemed like Mattel was paying a little more attention to the detailing, like you can see in the belt pouches, and just the gloves have like the stitching on them, and the, you know, just the more expressive faces. Like, DC Universe is a great line, don't get me wrong. It just seems like they sacrificed a little of the detail just to get more characters out, which is great because people like all the characters and everything, but, you know, just something about the standard quality of these figures seems like it's just a step above. Speaking of DC Universe Classic, this Batman is probably my second favorite just because it's got that, you know, that classic 80s to early 90s Batman feel. And it matches the tone of the artwork very well. The only thing I just can't get behind is this black mask that he's got. That was always drawn as a shadow to me. Like, I don't understand. It's not supposed to be a part of the mask. It's just like, you know, the way the art style reflected the shadows. But, you know, basically every Batman figure with a blue cowl, seems like half of them have this. So, whatever. Besides that little nitpick, this is a really great figure, and this was actually the first DC Universe Classic figure I bought, and it's a really good one. Honorable mention goes to this guy, who's basically the same as this one. He's from the DC Superheroes 2-pack with Batgirl, and I think he was released separately also. A little darker gray, but it's got the blue and gray color scheme from, you know, the comic books. And his belt has a little more going on than the other one there. But all in all, a very cool figure. I also like the color scheme on this one. This is the Clayface 2-pack. This is kind of like the animated series color scheme, the black and gray. They did actually make one without all the Clayface, you know, battle damage on it. I just, for some reason, never got around to picking it up. I may end up going back for it eventually, but for right now, like I said, I pretty much got my favorite one. But yeah, there's also been a bunch of DC Direct Batman figures that I'm going to showcase here in a second. So moving on to some of the DC Direct Batman figures. These four I got in a 4-pack. They're all repaints as far as I can tell. This is like the Super Friends, you know, Hanna-Barbera looking Batman. And again, like I said, he's got that black mask. I think that's how he was drawn in the cartoon, I'm not sure. And they also made the trunks black on this one, as opposed to blue, which, you know, I think it's just a matter of the artwork. Most times they were shaded black, but I always got the impression they were supposed to be blue. But whatever, you know, it doesn't really bother me that much. And this one is like the classic kind of retro 1950s Batman, where he's, you know, kind of, you know, out in outer space fighting or whatever the case was. There were some pretty bizarre comics going on back then. He's actually a little more articulated. You'll notice he's got like ankle joints, elbows. Like this, I think, as far as the DC Direct figures go, is probably the most articulated Batman that I have. And of course, this one is the Justice, the Alex Ross repaint. The original one had the big black bat logo. This 4-pack version just has the yellow oval one. Again, insane detail. Like you can see, like the mask has like folds in it from like his expression on his face, and it's really cool. But you know, not very articulated. So, you know, it is for what it is. It's a good figure. And this is the first appearance, Batman. Oh, this guy's going down, and so is he. Whatever. He's originally had purple gloves, which the Mattel version has. But I think in his later appearances, like, he started wearing blue. And eventually, you know, the artist that would shade the black cape with blue highlights eventually would use more and more blue. And that's how later on his cape and cowl and stuff ended up actually being drawn as blue. It's just kind of a little side note trivia. But the head sculpt on this one is really cool, and he gets a lot of motion in his head. Like, you can pretty much get him looking any direction. And he's fairly articulated too. I mean, not quite so much as this one here, but he's got a pretty good amount. And the cape, I think, is really cool because it kind of looks like you can shroud him in it and he stands in the shadows. I think Mattel did a better job with the cape on their version of it. But still, you know, overall, these are some cool figures. I like them. And these are the last three that I have out of the DC Direct Batman. Obviously, you got the Dark Knight Returns, who was the first DC Direct figure I ever bought, I think. Good luck getting him to pose anything other than that, by the way, because he's so top-heavy. And mine, he has a really weak knee joint right there, so I'm not even going to touch him or else he'll fall down like the other ones did earlier. This is a Jim Lee version. I got him in a 2-pack with Scarecrow. The original figure was with Hush, and again, it was like the big black bat logo from that story arc. But these repaints were actually pretty cheap when I bought them, so I was happy to have him. He just has a really nice head sculpt. And this is from the New Frontier, I think it was called, the animated DC, what is it, some kind of animated movie. And it's kind of a simplistic, almost like Mike Mignola-ish art style, but it's not for everybody. I really like it, though. I think it's a cool figure. Again, you know, the only gaping collection hole that I have here is the Kelly Jones Batman. Now, they'd made a black and white statue of the Kelly Jones Batman that I wanted to pick up, but I just never got around to it. And, you know, nowadays I think he's a little too expensive for my taste. So, I don't know. Shout out to either DC Direct or Mattel, you know, make my dreams come true. So, that's about all that's been going on with me lately. I would have had a video up sooner, but I got sick over the weekend, so I apologize for anybody that was waiting on bated breath for any kind of video from me, which I'm sure was probably no one. But lately I've been doing some more stop motion. I can't wait to share that when it's done with all you people who enjoy it. Meantime, just wanted to put a video up and say thank you again to Thor Odinson 24 for the contest. And just basically thank the entire ACBA community for making it possible to do some of those cool contests, and how everybody kind kind of, you know, tries to look out for each other and help each other out with some figures here and there, and it's definitely a really cool thing to be a part of. So I definitely appreciate everything that I see on the pages, and hopefully I can start giving back in some way pretty soon here. Meantime, keep an eye on my other channel, Captain McKay Random, for stop motion animation. Feel free to subscribe to this one if you like these more kind of behind the scenes, mellowed out videos. And hopefully I'll see you guys again soon. And on a side note, I can't wait for these other Ninja Turtles that are going to be coming out, because I'm going to have to get another tower to rival this one. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening here. But alright, thanks again for checking it out, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Later on.